The USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows, New York, was buzzing with anticipation. The world's best players were preparing for the final Grand Slam of the season, the U.S. Open, the biggest stage in tennis. But amidst the sea of rackets, tennis balls, and practice courts, something entirely unexpected was about to unfold. Alex Eala had just finished a grueling practice session. She was drenched in sweat, her royal blue Nike kit clinging to her skin. Her focus was laser-sharp, her mind entirely consumed by the tournament that lay ahead. She had climbed to a career-high world number 18, become the highest-ranked Filipino women's tennis player in the Open era, and was projected to enter the U.S. Open as a seeded player, a first for any Filipino in the history of the tournament. But as she walked off the court, her coach handed her an envelope. It was embossed with a logo she didn't recognize, a stylized anime character surrounded by the words Anime NYC 2026. The Javits Center, August 20th to 23rd, a world away from the tennis courts of Flushing Meadows. "What is this?" Eala asked, her brow furrowed. Her coach smiled. "Open it." She tore open the envelope and pulled out a letter. Her eyes scanned the words, and her jaw dropped. The letter was from the organizers of Anime NYC, one of the largest anime conventions in the United States. They were inviting her to be a special guest at the convention, not as a tennis player, but as a celebrity guest and cultural icon. "We have been watching your journey with great admiration," the letter read. "Your rise to prominence has captivated millions around the world. Your story of resilience, determination, and pride in your heritage mirrors the journeys of the greatest anime heroes. We would be honored to have you as our special guest at Anime NYC 2026. Eala read the words again and again. She couldn't believe it. She had grown up watching anime, immersing herself in the stories of heroes who never gave up, who fought against all odds, who believed in themselves when no one else did. And now, the anime world was inviting her to be part of their community. Nobody expected this, she whispered, but the tennis world was about to find out. Welcome to the story of a champion's unexpected invitation, a crossover between two worlds, and a young woman who is about to prove that her impact extends far beyond the tennis court. To understand why Anime NYC would invite Alex Eala to their convention, you have to understand the journey that brought her to this moment. It is a story of resilience, determination, and an unwavering belief in oneself, the very qualities that define the greatest anime heroes. Eala was born on May 23, 2005, in Quezon City, Philippines. She picked up a tennis racket at just 4 years old. By the age of 11, she had already made her mark, competing in the WTA Future Stars event in Singapore and winning the Lee Na Inspiration Award. But it was a decision made by her parents that would change everything. When she was just 13 years old, the Rafa Nadal Academy reached out, a turning point that would reshape not just her career, but the future of Philippine tennis. The 2026 season marked her arrival. In February, she reached the quarterfinals of the Dubai Tennis Championships. In March, she reached the quarterfinals of the Miami Open for the second year in a row. In June, she reached the semifinals of the Berlin Open. In July, she reached the fourth round at Wimbledon, a historic achievement that made her the first Filipino to reach the second week of a Grand Slam in the Open era. At Wimbledon, she stunned defending champion Iga Swiatek with a commanding 7-69, 6-2 victory. The match attracted several high-profile spectators, including Grand Slam legend Roger Federer, and it caught the attention of someone else, Maria Sharapova, Eala's childhood idol, who left a comment on Wimbledon's Instagram post. A star. Then came Washington. Eala entered the tournament as an unseeded player, ranked number 28 in the world, without any expectations from the tennis establishment. The tournament was stacked with champions. Olympic gold medalist Zheng Qinwen, defending champion Leylah Fernandez, world number 10 Alina Svitolina, four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka, and world number 3 Jessica Pegula. Eala defeated every single one of them. The win made her the first Filipino, indeed the first Southeast Asian, to win a WTA Tour singles crown and propelled her from number 28 to number 20 in the WTA rankings. She had added 500 ranking points to her total, the biggest single tournament haul of her career. She then carried that form into the Canadian Open, where 2 more wins stretched her sequence to 7 in a row. Her Toronto campaign eventually ended with a 4th-round defeat to Belinda Bencic. But the surge had lifted Eala to a career-high world number 18. Now, in New York, she was about to take on the biggest challenge of her career, the U.S. Open. But first, she had received an invitation that no one could have predicted. To understand why Anime NYC's invitation was so significant, you have to understand the connection between Alex Eala and the world of anime. It is a connection that goes beyond casual fandom. It is a connection rooted in the very essence of who she is. Eala has spoken publicly about her love for anime. In interviews, she has revealed that she grew up watching shows like Attack on Titan, Naruto, and One Piece. She has cited the themes of perseverance, friendship, and fighting against the odds as inspirations for her own journey. I think that's why I love anime so much, Eala had said in a rare interview about her interests outside tennis. The characters never give up. No matter how impossible the odds, they keep fighting. They believe in themselves. And that's what I try to do on the court. The parallels between Eala's journey and the journeys of anime heroes are striking. Like Naruto, she was an underdog who defied expectations. Like Eren Yeager, she faced seemingly insurmountable obstacles and found a way to overcome them. Like Monkey D. Luffy, she dreamed of becoming the best in her field and refused to let anyone stand in her way. The Anime NYC organizers recognized these parallels. In their letter to Eala, they wrote, "Your story is the story of an anime hero. You came from a country with no tennis tradition. You faced doubters at every turn. You trained relentlessly, believed in yourself, and achieved the impossible. You have inspired millions of people around the world, not just in the Philippines, but everywhere. That is why I want to honor you at Anime NYC 2026. The invitation was a recognition of Eala's impact beyond the tennis court. She had become more than a player. She had become a symbol, a source of pride for a nation of over 110 million people, a gathering point for the Filipino diaspora scattered across the globe. And now, she was being recognized by a community that celebrated the very qualities that had made her a champion. The news of the invitation spread quickly through the tennis world. Players, coaches, and fans alike were stunned. Nobody expected this. But as they learned more about the connection between Eala and anime, it began to make perfect sense. To understand the magnitude of Anime NYC's invitation, you have to understand the Filipino fandom that Eala has inspired. It is a fandom that rivals the most passionate anime communities in the world. Eala's rise has transformed the Philippines. Tennis courts across the country are now filled with eager young players who dream of following in her footsteps. Her matches have become national events, with millions of Filipinos staying up late to watch her compete. Her name is spoken with the same reverence as boxing legend Manny Pacquiao. When he would have fights, everyone was so excited, and it was just a chance for people to come together, Eala had said, drawing a parallel to Pacquiao. I guess my journey has similar things, or can give similar things like what Pacquiao gave. But Eala's impact extends beyond the Philippines. The Filipino diaspora, scattered across the globe, has united behind her. In Toronto, fans turned the 12,500-seat Sobeys Stadium into a home court, waving Philippine flags and chanting Laban, Alex. In Washington, organizers revealed that 80% of ticket inquiries asked about Eala's match schedule. In Cincinnati, the 11,614-seat center court was packed to capacity. The phenomenon was so intense that it caught the attention of the sport's biggest stars. Coco Gauff praised Eala for bringing a new demographic to the WTA Tour. Jessica Pegula, who faced Eala in the Washington final, described the experience of playing against a player with such passionate support. Even Katie McNally, after facing Eala in Toronto, felt it was a privilege to be part of the experience. It's amazing the enthusiasm and how many more fans Eala has brought to this sport since March of last year, former world number 1 Lindsay Davenport said. That run in Miami really changed everything for her. Now, the anime community was embracing Eala with the same fervor. Filipino anime fans, who had followed her tennis journey with pride, were ecstatic at the news of her invitation to Anime NYC. Social media exploded with excitement. Fan art depicting Eala as an anime character began circulating online. Cosplayers started planning their Eala-inspired outfits. Nobody expected this, one fan tweeted. But it makes so much sense. Alex Eala is literally an anime protagonist. The invitation had bridged two worlds that, on the surface, seemed completely unrelated. But in reality, they were connected by the very qualities that defined Eala's journey: resilience, determination, and an unwavering belief in oneself. The tennis world was not the only community stunned by the invitation. The anime world was equally surprised. Organizers of Anime NYC had never invited a professional athlete to be a special guest before. This was uncharted territory. But when they explained their reasoning, it made perfect sense. Anime is about heroes, the organizers said in a statement. It's about ordinary people who do extraordinary things. It's about fighting against the odds, believing in yourself, and never giving up. Alex Eala embodies all of those qualities. She is a real-life anime hero. The invitation was not just about Eala's tennis achievements. It was about her character, her resilience, her ability to inspire millions of people around the world. We have watched her journey with great admiration, the organizers continued. Her story, of coming from a country with no tennis tradition, of facing doubters at every turn, of training relentlessly and believing in herself, is the story of every anime hero. We would be honored to have her as our special guest. The invitation was extended to Eala just days before the U.S. Open. Organizers had arranged for her to appear at the convention on Saturday, August 22nd, one day before the start of the tournament. It was a tight schedule, but Eala was determined to make it work. "I grew up watching anime," Eala said in a statement. "The characters inspired me to never give up, to keep fighting, to believe in myself. To be recognized by the anime community is an incredible honor. I can't wait to meet the fans and share my story." The news spread like wildfire. Tennis fans and anime fans alike were buzzing with excitement. The crossover between the two worlds was unprecedented, and Eala was at the center of it all. Eala's invitation to Anime NYC was more than just a celebrity appearance. It was a recognition of her status as a global icon, a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions of people around the world. The numbers told the story. Eala had become the WTA's big ticket over the last 2 years. Her popularity had soared with a string of strong performances, including action on Wimbledon center court and her first WTA Tour title. Ranked number 20 in the world, she had packed venues in every city she's played. Her Nike merchandise had sold out within minutes of its release. A blue dress inspired by a basketball jersey, complete with netted cuts on the sides, became her signature U.S. Open look. Her official Nike shirt had already sold out, a testament to her skyrocketing popularity. Eala had also become the most followed Filipino athlete on social media. Her Instagram following had grown to over 1.7 million. Her matches drew millions of viewers online. Her influence extended far beyond the tennis court. "There are moments where it's heavy," Eala had said about the weight of being a national icon. "There are moments where it's fun. But at the end of the day, I'm also aware that it's a crazy experience, so I'm just trying to take it all in." She had also spoken about the responsibility that came with her platform. "I take so much pride in representing my country," she had said. "It makes what I do bigger than myself, and it adds meaning to what I do." Now, that platform was expanding in ways she never could have imagined. The anime community was embracing her with open arms. Filipino fans were celebrating her achievement, and the tennis world was watching in awe. "Nobody expected this," one commentator noted, "but it's a testament to how far Alex Eala has come. She's not just a tennis player anymore. She's a global phenomenon." The invitation to Anime NYC was a milestone in Eala's journey. It was a recognition that her impact extends far beyond the tennis court. It was proof that she had become something more than a player. She had become a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions of people around the world. August 22nd, 2026. New York City, the Javits Center. The scene inside the convention center was unlike anything Eala had ever experienced. Thousands of anime fans had gathered for Anime NYC 2026, the biggest anime convention on the East Coast. The halls were filled with cosplayers, vendors, and excited attendees. The energy was electric, and at the center of it all was Alex Eala. She walked on the main stage to a thunderous ovation. Fans cheered, waved Philippine flags, and held up signs with her name. Cosplayers dressed as her favorite anime characters, Naruto, Luffy, Eren Yeager, lined the front rows. The atmosphere was surreal. Eala smiled, her eyes filled with emotion. She had never experienced anything like this. The tennis world was one thing, but this was different. This was a community that had embraced her not because of her tennis achievements, but because of her story, her resilience, her determination, her refusal to give up. "Thank you so much for having me," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "I grew up watching anime. The characters inspired me to never give up, to keep fighting, to believe in myself. To be here today, to be recognized by this community, it means the world to me." The crowd erupted in cheers. Eala spoke about her journey, her struggles, her triumphs. She talked about the importance of believing in yourself, even when no one else does. She talked about the power of community, of coming together to support one another. "I think that's what anime teaches us," she said, "that we're stronger together, that we can achieve anything if we believe in ourselves and support each other. That's what the Filipino community has shown me. And that's what I see here today." The audience was captivated. Eala's words resonated with fans who had followed her journey from the beginning. They saw themselves in her story. They saw the same struggles, the same doubts, the same determination to overcome the odds. After the panel, Eala spent hours meeting fans, signing autographs, and taking photos. She posed with cosplayers, shared stories, and thanked everyone for their support. The experience was overwhelming, but in the best way possible. "Nobody expected this," she said later, "but I'm so grateful. This is a reminder that my journey is about more than tennis. It's about inspiring people. It's about showing them that anything is possible." Eala's appearance at Anime NYC was a milestone in her journey. It was a recognition of her impact beyond the tennis court. It was proof that she had become something more than a player. She had become a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions of people around the world. The crossover between the tennis world and the anime world was unprecedented. But for those who had followed Eala's journey, it made perfect sense. Her story of resilience, determination, and unwavering belief in herself was the story of every anime hero. "I think that's why I love anime so much," Eala had said. "The characters never give up. No matter how impossible the odds, they keep fighting. They believe in themselves. And that's what I try to do on the court." Now, she had inspired a new generation of fans. Young Filipinos who had never watched tennis before were now tuning in to her matches. Young anime fans who had never followed sports were now cheering for her at the US Open. The crossover between the two worlds was just beginning. Eala's legacy was no longer confined to the tennis court. She had become a cultural icon, a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions of people around the world. And her appearance at Anime NYC was just the beginning. "I take so much pride in representing my country," she had said. "It makes what I do bigger than myself, and it adds meaning to what I do." Now, that meaning had expanded to include a new community. A community that had embraced her with open arms. A community that recognized the hero in her story. From the cracked courts of Quezon City, where tennis was a luxury, to the center courts of New York, where she had become a seeded player of the US Open, to the halls of the Javits Center, where she had been honored by the anime community, Alex Eala had proven that champions don't just win matches, they inspire generations. And the anime fans who had welcomed her with open arms knew it all along. "Nobody expected this," one fan said. "But Alex Eala is the real-life anime protagonist we've been waiting for." From the cracked courts of Quezon City to the center courts of New York, where she had become a seeded player at the US Open, to the halls of the Javits Center, where she had been honored by the anime community, Alex Eala had proven that champions don't just win matches, they inspire generations. Nobody expected this. But Alex Eala is the real-life anime protagonist the world has been waiting for.